Namaste, everybody. Happy Friday to you. And welcome. My name is KJ Hamus, and I'm so excited to be with you here on September 18th for our Slow Flow Plus Yin practice. Tonight's practice is going to be a chance for each person to start to kind of go internal and begin to set new intentions. So last night was the new moon. And oftentimes in yogic tradition, we take a step away from our physical, our asana practice on a new or full moon, and really use the time as reflection and journaling and more meditation, peace and quiet, so that we can begin to think about our intentions for this next cycle, this next moon cycle. What I love about today is it's also Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and the beginning of the 10 days of the high holidays. I would like to name that I am personally not Jewish, but my husband and his fabulous family are. So there is a little bit of connection there. But as we go into this new year, it is also a time of reflection, a time of celebration, and a time to set new intentions for what we're hoping will come about during this next cycle as well. A much longer cycle, if you will, but something that if we think about it along with the moon cycle, that we can really renew those intentions at any particular time. So thinking about that, I'm inviting you to find points throughout the practice that are nourishing for you, that give you the opportunity to listen to your intuition, listen with your inner ear about what your body, what your mind, what your emotions are really communicating to you. So with all of that said, I invite you to get started in any comfortable seat that feels good to you. If you find that as you're getting into that, a comfortable seat is not what you need, feel free to take Savasana, legs up the wall, maybe even a child's pose. As always, start to take authority of your body and your needs right at the beginning of your practice. Finding our comfortable seat can also include sitting on a pillow or a blanket or even a block here. And as we start to settle in, finding a soft point for our gaze, or if it feels comfortable for you, closing your eyes as I ring the bell to welcome us into our practice. I invite you here to take a deep, slow breath in through the nose. And exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Deep, slow breath in through the nose. And exhale, open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. One final time here, full slow breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it all go. As you begin to welcome yourself on your mat by orienting in space and time, the space being here and the time being now. As we arrive on our mat, we take time to honor the stewards of the land who come before us, hoping to continue their great care of the land and honor it. And as we start to move deeper into our yogic practice on our mat, we acknowledge that the roots of yoga stem from the subcontinent of India. As many as 5,000 years ago, the early practitioners began to develop this practice so that we may share it today. Through community together, through the indigenous teachers that we practice with. In particular, my teacher, Suzanne Barkataki. Beginning to draw your senses inward. Start to tune into our koshas, our 5 sheaths of our being. So I invite you to just take a full body scan, working from your head down to the toes, noticing how you're feeling physically, what is coming up. So our physical koshas, our Annamaya kosha. Where are you holding tightness? Where do you feel the most bound? Where's the most open and the most flowing? You might even notice the physical differences between the left side and the right side here. Begin to even notice where gripping is taking place in the physical body. So for example, if your hands are on your knees, it's possible that your hands are gripping your knees. I invite you to soften there, letting your hands nourish your body as you feel a connection to the earth. We begin to draw our focus to our breath. Pranamaya kosha, our second sheath. Notice how your breath is traveling through the body. How is your prana, your energy, your life force, or chi in traditional Chinese medicine? How is it moving? How is it showing up? How is it interacting physically with your body? You may begin to acknowledge this is the first time you've noticed your breath today and all that it brings. And that's okay if it's the first time that you've noticed your breath. We're not always tuned to our breath throughout the day. So let this be a time when you can truly start to explore your breath and all that it brings to your being. And as you're ready, start to bring your awareness to your mind. The third kosha, Mana kosha, Manamaya kosha. How are the thoughts moving in the brain? How are your emotions being influenced by your thoughts and vice versa? Letting your time on the mat be an acceptance of how you're feeling. Maybe you start to dip a toe in a particular feeling that you've been avoiding. Wherever you're at emotionally and mentally, start to honor that place. Knowing there's no right or wrong way to show up. And that this is a welcome space for you to be with whatever you're bringing on the mat. We start to draw our attention to our intuition. What are the subtleties that your body is trying to communicate? Oftentimes, We may think of our intuition as like a gut feeling, even though it might not necessarily reside in the gut. What are you being told that you know to be true in your own body? How can you start to listen to that and tune into that intuition? Tune into your intuition. It's going to be different for every person. And it's okay tonight if it's a very, very faint whisper. It's time. I'll invite you throughout the practice to continue to check in with your intuition and the sensations that are coming. Move into our final kosha, our bliss. So I ask one question that can hold multiple meanings. So first, finding the meaning that resonates with you. Asking yourself, what is your joy? And all answers are welcome. Noting that maybe joy doesn't feel very present tonight. That is welcome. It's a chance to check in and note that. Even as you check in, how can you use this time on your mat to nourish yourself, nourish all the layers of the body, as we begin to set a new intention for the new year and for this new moon cycle. Taking a moment here to set your sankalpa, your intention, a deep intention. It can be small, it can be large. Start to plant the seed of that intention here. Let your intention resonate throughout your body by repeating it to yourself 3 times. And after the 3rd time, bring your awareness back to your breath, always keeping an inner ear, an inner focus on what else the body is telling you. If it feels right to you, starting to take a deep diaphragmatic breath, inviting the breath in through the nose, filling up belly, back, and ribs, feeling the expansion of your body. And then as you exhale, feeling the contraction of your body as everything moves back towards your midline, towards your spine, our central energy channel, our Shushumna. And in your time, in your space, begin to take circles with your upper body around your legs. So moving back and forth, finding gentle, soft movement that may open up your hips, open up your back. Even welcome in some cat-cow as you take these circles. And as you're ready, moving in the opposite direction, letting your spine round and straighten, noting and allowing the expression your body wants to take with this movement. So bigger, it can be smaller, it can be moving in non-linear fashions. And then from here, finding your way back to center, taking a deep breath in. And on your exhale, drawing your right ear to your right shoulder. Feeling a stretch along the left side of your neck. You have the option to stay right here the option to add a bit more if you'd like, by bringing your right hand and gently placing it on your head. Always being mindful about how much pressure you put on there because we're not trying to force anything. You can always stay here if that feels perfect for you. Or you can add your left hand where you extend it out to the sky or feel it connect with the earth. Continuing to connect with your breath. And checking back in with your body, your breath, your mind, your intuition. And take one more deep inhale here. And on your next exhale, gently release your hands and draw your chin to your chest, bringing your head in a full circle. Take 2 more circles at your own pace, your own depth. And the next time your chin comes back to center, as you inhale, pause, and on your exhale, your left ear will come to your left shoulder. Option to continue to have your eyes closed. Option to open your eyes, focusing on a soft point in your space. Once again, adding what you need here. You can bring your hand up. You can extend your right arm, or feel it connect to the earth. So even here, remembering options are just that. They're just options. Options are a way to invite yourself to meet you where you're at, finding the nourishing parts of the practice. So don't take what doesn't serve you. Listen to your body. Listen to your needs. One more deep, slow breath in. And as you exhale, gently release and draw your chin to your chest and begin to take your neck circles in the opposite direction. Taking 2 to 3 here at your own pace, your own depth. And as you find your way back to your center, on an inhale, rolling over your shins, taking child's pose. Knees can come as wide as the mat to get into your hips a bit more, or depending on how your back feels, if that is where you're holding the most tightness, bring your knees underneath your body. Even here, listening to your heart space and deciding if it feels better to be up on your forearms a little bit, or even bringing a pillow, blanket, block underneath the hips so the hips have something to rest on. We'll take 5 breaths here. 5 of your own breaths. As we start to add more movement into our practice, use the sensations of the breath to guide your movement, matching the outside movement to your breath and to your needs. On your next inhale, slowly curl your toes under. And as you exhale, lift your hips up to the sky, finding your downward facing dog. Stillness might be calling to you, or maybe it's movement. And either option is welcome. Stillness can be a great place to just settle in and really draw your intention once again to your mind. Movement can also be a great place because it can move your energy around, opening places up so you can find your stillness and embrace it.
Beginning to take your stillness if you're not already there. Slow breath in through your nose. And slow breath out through the mouth. Looking between your hands so you can see your path forward. As you inhale, begin to walk your feet to meet your hands. Legs can be straight, knees can be bent. Take as many or as few steps as you need. We'll meet in a ragdoll, feet hips width distance apart or wider. Try and let your head hang nice and heavy this evening. So these are movements we take are slow and mindful, noting that there's no missed opportunity in our movements. That every little movement we take can be important and can matter in our bodies and in our minds. Let your hands hang heavy. Maybe you rest your hands on your feet or on your shins. Tonight might be a place where you reach for opposite elbows in front of the body or even behind your body. Blocks are, I like to think of blocks as magical, and so they're magical because they bring the ground closer to us. The ground doesn't always like to move, but blocks will move, and that's fabulous. Take one more full breath here and out. On your next inhale, begin to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow and steady. Continuing to uncurl the spine. Letting your knees be the last thing to straighten as your head is the last thing to stack on top of your body. Finding Tadasana, mountain pose. A true rooting pose as we connect to the earth. So as we move through our moon salutation, feeling the connection with the feet, with the earth, how can that aid you and assist you in this new cycle and helping you realize your intention? From here on an inhale, reach your arms up long overhead. Palms can touch. Palms can be shoulders width distance apart. Take a breath and grow nice and tall. As you exhale, lean to your right. Sending your left hips to the left side of the body. Notice any shifting in your feet and consider bringing a bit more weight to the left inner arch and to the right outer arch. Inhale, rise, growing tall toward the sky. Exhale, lean to the left, sending your hips over to the right. Once again, notice the shift in your weight and consider bringing your weight to the inner right arch and to the outer left arch. Inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, step your right foot to the side so you come into your goddess squat. Now, if this turns you away from the camera, consider doing it the other way so you can still see. But if you know your moon salutation, this might be an excellent opportunity just to look away. So as we are in our squat, thinking of this as a place of strength. We move through our moon salutation to remind us of the cycles of the moon. And once again, how can we nourish ourselves through the shapes to prepare for a time of contemplation and intention setting. Sitting low, noticing your hips. You may consider widening your stance and widening out the length of your toes so you get more of an internal rotation on your legs. Take one more full breath in and a full breath out. As you inhale, reach your arms up. Toes will most likely come in for star pose. Back toes come in. Left toes point to the short edge of your mat. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose.
This can be an excellent place for your block at whatever level feels good to you. As your left hand rests on the ground or on your block, or even letting the hand rest lightly on your. What do you notice about your body in this shape? So thinking about it energetically, where do you feel yourself kind of slinking or slouching? Where can you feel the pull of the energy to help energy? The energy. I'm using the word energy a lot tonight, so we're just gonna go with it. It's my filler word tonight. We're just going with it. Breathing here. If you're looking for more length in your side body, consider lifting up through your left ribs and drawing the crown of your head forward. Length can also be obtained by thinking about your right hip toward your right heel. What does that do for you in the shape? Does that change things in a way that is caring and compassionate for your needs right now? Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, setting up in pyramid pose, both hands will frame your left foot. Both sets of toes will face the short edge of the mat. You may shorten your stance depending on the length of your legs, because if it's too long, you might put too much strain on your knees. We don't want to do that. We want to continue to soften the knees. Head hangs nice and heavy as you fold over your left leg. If you're feeling the bulk of the stretch in your left leg, you may note your distribution of weight. And one thing that could help is bringing a bit more weight to the pinky edge side foot of our back foot, our right foot, your right foot. Think about drawing left hip back, right hip forward. That still may keep a lot of weight in your left leg, a lot of stretch in your left leg, but it's possible it's lightened up a bit, evened out. Take one more breath here, and breath out. As you inhale, lift up halfway, step your right foot back, drawing your knee down to the ground as you exhale. On your inhale, rise up, finding Anjaneyasana. So arms can reach to the sky, hands can stay on your hips, hands can come to your thigh. Each option can change the intensity, not only in the stretch in the stomach, but the sensations you feel in your hips. So take what you need here. If there's crunching in your left hips, where you feel the left pelvic bone meet your left femur, take one palm of the hand and consider moving the flesh of your left thigh, and then the other hand to lift up the flesh around the belly. And then sink into theirs. Does that change things? Does it help? You may also widen your stance. Let's take 3 breaths here, 3 of your own. Note, hands can always stay on the ground too, if that feels better in your body. Full breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, frame your front foot, lift up your right toes, and then as you exhale, find a Skandasana in your right foot. So many variations in our Skandasana. We can stay low into the ground. Our left toes are pointed up as we bring weight over into our right foot. You can come up and draw the left toes down to the ground. Hands can stay on the earth for the connection, or you can bring your hands to heart center. This variation can be taken at a higher level or a low level, depending on your needs tonight. Focus on your breath. Be mindful of your knee. Always can put a soft bend in your knee if you need to. Let's take 2 more here. On your next inhale, slowly walk your way through center. And as you exhale, Skandasana over our left foot. So this time, right leg is long, left knee is bent. Same options. Staying low, right toes up to the sky. Weight in the outer edge of our left foot. We're planting right foot down, low or medium, or even a little higher. Again, where's your expression of the shape this evening? Taking 2 more breaths here. Your next inhale, come through center and find your way over to frame your right foot. As you exhale, drop left knee down to the ground. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, your variation. So arms can reach up, hands can stay on thigh, hands can come to hip. One variation that I did not offer up, and I apologize for that, is bringing your hands behind your head. That may feel really nice for you in your shoulders and in your throat space. Again, always make the self-adjustments as you need. Let's take 3 breaths here. Full inhale, full exhale. As you inhale, frame your right foot, lifting back toes up, and exhale, set up in pyramid pose. Upper body will fall over, right leg, left leg may bunny hop in. Feel free to use both blocks here. This is one sequence where it'd be really nice to have 4 blocks. You just have 2 blocks on each side, but we'll make do. You can always go up onto fingertips or fists if you'd like as well. Notice your distribution of weight. Think about right hip back, left hip forward. A bit more weight into your left back. Take 2 more breaths. On your inhale, halfway lift. Step your left toes back and turn your left toes to the long edge of your mat. On your inhale, lifting up, triangle pose. So this is an excellent place for a block as well. Make the adjustments in your stance. Once again, notice the length of your body and how it may be affecting your breathing. So is low energy causing the body to slump and slouch? If it is, you may consider pressing into the outer edge of your back foot, drawing your left hip down towards your left heel. As you lift up through right ribs, crown of the head will reach. Let's take 3 breaths here. As you inhale, using your top arm, lift you up to rise, toes point out. Exhale, sink low, find your squat. We're gonna move through that one more time, this time starting on the right, a little bit faster, but not so fast that we lose our breath. So finding the depth of your squat tonight. Thinking about what your pelvis needs. Maybe you
Draw it down as you lift low belly up. Breathe. Coming back to your intention. How can you start to solidify your own strength here? Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, triangle pose. Right toes toward the short edge of your mat. Left toes toward the long edge of your mat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale. As you exhale, pyramid pose over your right foot. Back toes point towards short edge of mat. As you fold, 2 breaths here. Inhale, shine your heart forward as you step left foot back. Exhale, drop your back knee. Inhale, reach up. Anjaneyasana, 2 breaths. Inhale, frame your front foot coming into low runner's lunge. Exhale, Skandasana over your left foot. Your variation, high or low. Opposite foot on the ground or toes pointed up. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale through center. Exhale, Skandasana over your right foot. 2 breaths. Inhale, come through center, framing left foot. Exhale, drop back knee. As you inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, low runner's lunge, framing your left foot. Exhale, pyramid pose. Upper body drapes over left leg. Right foot bunny hops in. Inhale, heart shines. And then as you exhale, you lift up. Triangle pose. Inhale, lift up and rise. Star. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale, come to the front of your mat. Tadasana mountain pose. Exhale, lean to your right. Inhale through center. Exhale, lean to your left. Inhale, come through center. And as you exhale, release your arms by your sides. Feel free to stay here or come into a comfortable seat. We'll take a minute or two to check back in. Oftentimes we go right in to our yin shapes, our yin practice. But again, as we're thinking about new cycle intention setting, use this time to come back inward. What are you noticing physically? What is happening with your breath? Checking in with your mind and your emotions. Listening to your intuition. And noting your joy. And all of these elements aid your intention. Keep you rooted in who you are.
As you're ready, begin to make your way down to your mat. We'll come into our first yin shape of caterpillar pose. So props that you may wish to have for this are a blanket, pillow, and even blocks. Bringing your legs out in front of you. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can actually see my legs. They can be close together or even widen them slightly for a little bit more space. From here, just start to fold forward. So thinking about this shape as a way to draw inward, to listen to your body. Ways to use your props, depending on how your hips are feeling tonight. You may want to sit up on a blanket to help find your anterior tilt. This could even be a great place for your bolster, for your pillow. Even a block here if that's comfortable for you. And then your pillow can be used to fold forward over. You could also stack your blocks underneath the pillow. Again, giving yourself a bit more ground to work with here. So we'll be holding our shapes longer this evening. Using the opportunity to slowly ease into your shapes. How can your shapes nourish you? How are you able to welcome in sensation and honor who you are? On your next exhale, slowly begin to rise. Bring your hands behind you. Think about opening up the heart, taking a slight back bend. Moving your props off to the side. I invite you to come onto your back, belly, or side for puddle pose. Tonight is really time for reflection, drawing inward. Not only checking in with yourself here, but reconnecting to your intention. Cultivating rest. Cultivating rest to begin to renew and re-energize. From here, starting to make your way onto your favorite side. We're going to move into a variation on child's pose. So props you may wish to have for this shape are a bolster, a block, or even a blanket. So really everything that we bring with us to our mat on this. Legs can be as wide as the mat as you'd like, or you can bring your knees closer together. Again, up to you. The variation we're going to take with child's pose is going to be a twist in the upper body to help us release our spine. So depending on, again, how your hips feel, blanket, tower, or bolster can always come underneath the hips so you can sit back onto the blanket. Keep your pillow handy or your block handy. Start to draw your upper body forward. Bringing your left arm underneath your right. Let your head rest. Now you can choose to skip this part if it doesn't feel nourishing in your body, and just bring your bolster or your pillow maybe underneath your upper body instead. So many options, again, to meet yourself where you're at and where you need. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. You can always make adjustments as you hold the shape longer, realizing the body has different needs. Something new may have popped up that needs your attention. If you make any adjustments, do so mindfully and gently. As you slowly begin to unwind, you may wish to move into a tabletop for a moment, rocking back and forth in your hips or taking some cat cows. And then as you're ready, start to find your way back into just child's pose or into the other side of our twist. So from here, we're going to bring our right arm underneath our left. Right cheek can come to the mat. And settling in. From here, slowly begin to unwind. You may wish to take some movement, whether that's in a tabletop, cat cows, or even circles around the wrists and with the hips.
Finding your way to your puddle pose on your back or on your belly. This time, how can you invite in extra stillness? How can you be open to the opportunity to release, let go, and draw inward a little bit more? And as you're ready, start to roll onto your favorite side. Finding your way to your comfortable seat, gathering your blocks and or your pillow. We'll set our blocks up one on top of the other on the lowest setting. You may wish to put your blanket or your pillow on top of this in a moment. Bring your knees together and draw your right hip up to the blocks. And then from here, lean your heart onto your bolster, your blankets, your blocks. Or hopefully what is a gentle twist. Settling in here to invite in nourishment. How can you be 5 to 10% more comfortable in this shape and in your space?
Slowly begin to unwind. Just going to move right into the next side. I'm going to switch my blocks just so you can see. We're going to bring our left hip over. And then drawing our heart down to our blocks. Slowly begin to rise on up, taking the final movements you may need before finding Shavasana, final resting pose. I know sometimes we take Savasana at the beginning, so it will be considered beginning resting pose. What will be the most nourishing here for you? Maybe that means moving to a couch, legs up the wall, placing pillow underneath the knees. As you start to settle in, drawing awareness to the crown of the head. As you begin here, softening your mind and feeling the same softening radiate down through the body, through the face, the ears, the outer eyelids, letting them soften. Your arms begin to release and go limp. Your heart feels light. Ribs relax and maybe splay open. Belly, hips, glutes let go and sink into the earth. Legs shins, feet, ankles, toes. I'll have muscle melt away from bone. Letting your breath come without effort, with ease. As the head and the neck grow heavy into the earth. Notice your jaw release. Roof of the mouth rise. You are here. Beginning to feel renewed and settling into rest. Begin to reawaken your senses, starting to invite some gentle movement back into your body. As you begin to make your way up to your comfortable seat, taking in any additional movements you need. So cat-cows could be calling to you, a down dog,
could be asking to take place. Maybe it's more shoulder circles or more hip circles. But honor what your body is describing to you and what it's saying would be good. And then as we start to find a neutral place to sit, bring one hand on top of the other. Thumbs draw together. You rest your hands in your lap in Dhyana Mudra. Finding a soft point for your gaze or closing your eyes. Bring your awareness to your heart space. As you inhale, feeling your heart contract. And on your exhale, feeling your heart expand. Noticing the beautiful movement of your heart in the space. Call to mind your intention, not only for this practice, for the coming weeks, this new cycle that has been granted to us by the new moon, by a new year. When your inhales, feel light and joy coming into your heart. As you exhale, feel that light and joy radiate throughout your entire body as your heart expands. How can you carry the light and joy into your intention? How can it support you and aid you in what you need? How can it nourish you? As we bring our hands to our heart space, bow our heads in a moment of gratitude, thanking ourselves for making time for our practice, and silently thanking those who joined us to create this virtual community in this virtual space. Thank you all so much for continuing to join me Friday evenings. It really is one of the highlights of my week. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday.